Well, hello and welcome once again to another episode of Cooking with Corona. Although if you've been following the series, you'll know that we're not actually cooking with Corona, we're merely cooking during the global pandemic of COVID-19. We're in lockdown. Now, this dish, which I'm about to make today, is a breakfast dish, and for once I'm making it at a kind of plausibly correct time of day. All the others I made at absurd times of the night, or I spent most of the morning doing certain things, and it doesn't matter. It's breakfast time, more or less, brunch time, so this should just about work. I had always assumed, given that I've only ever tried this dish in sort of Italian restaurants, French restaurants, Wetherspoons is a nice version as well, but I'd assumed, because of this, that it was a European dish, somewhere from the continent. But in fact, it's American in origin. There are a number of claimants to its invention, all of whom appear to have lived, generally, in the New York area, though one of them was French, and the sauce that comes with it is Dutch in origin, and the muffins you have it on are English in nature. So it's an American dish with European influence, you could say. Oh, and possibly Canadian as well, because in some variants it's Canadian bacon or ham that you have with it. Now, it's called Eggs Benedict if you're having it with ham or bacon. It's Eggs Royale if you're having it with salmon. It's Eggs Florentine if you're having it with spinach. I really like spinach with mine. You can have it. If you go to Wetherspoons, they'll give you cold watercress with it, together with the ham or the salmon. They have a vegetarian variant, I think, for black pudding or mushroom. And you can, in modern times, of course, buy your own hollandaise sauce or make it out of a packet. No matter how hard I try, I can't get the one from the packet to work. You can get it, as I said, in a jar, purely because the next dessert I require contains egg white only. I'm going to need to make my own sauce because it requires egg yolk. So first of all, we need 2 eggs. You'll need 2 cups if you're going to separate egg white from egg yolk. You can see how I'm just doing this, and I'm going to do my very, very best to make sure that egg white only goes in. You need to sort of juggle between the two. Just come down and look. There. Just play around with both of these and try. I may put the whole thing in the cup, but you have to be very careful to only... If you put the whole thing in the cup and then you fish just the egg yolk out with the spoon, you have to be extra, extra careful not to pierce the egg yolk, or it won't work. Okay. That's 1 egg white, 1 egg yolk. And we'll do it again with this one. Very well. Whites, yolks. Whites also known as albumin, of course. Now, I'm going to take these whites and put them away in the fridge for other cooking. You'll see which cooking, hopefully, in the next recipe. Now the yolks. So the eggs are set aside, next the butter. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, we are combining Mr. Oliver's recipe with Miss Titcomb's recipe. Some butter we've got here, unsalted butter. Both of them are very, very clear on that matter. And we measure out approximately 4 ounces. Here we are with the butter then. Next we melt the butter. Sure, you don't need to know what butter in a saucepan looks like, but there it is. And it's slowly melting. Getting there, getting closer, even closer. Now, finally, that in there. Stand by. One of them suggests using a half a teaspoonful of white wine vinegar. The other suggests using a whole tablespoonful. I'll try a whole teaspoon, just to measure everything out. Now I'm just putting some water into a saucepan here. I'm sure you know what water in a saucepan looks like. I'm going to let it simmer, and then I'm going to put this inside it. While that's in, these egg yolks are going in to that butter vinegar mix. Pinch of salt maybe? Why not? Pinch indeed. Where is that whisk? Here, now I'm just... there. We're getting there. We're getting there. I remember when I tried using the powdered kind in the past, the saucepan just filled with gunk, and far more than I could possibly use in one sitting. This looks just right. So while that's whisking away, and while that's just about done, or getting close to being done, I'm going to make a start on the poached eggs. Now, I've always been rather terrible with poached eggs, so bear with me. There. Right, I'm going to warm up those muffins while I'm waiting. I think you know what the American style muffins look like. I think I just showed you the English style ones. I'm going to put the ham to warm up in there as well. I think I'm going to use 2 slices. Usually I'd get this from the butcher's, but butchers of course are closed down at the moment. Okay, spinach I think. Okay, lemon into the hollandaise. On this goes. Not bad. No. Oh. Would have been better if I remember to swirl, as you're supposed to when it's in the saucepan. Then I'd have the egg whites in there too. I was missing a saucepan, which is why I had the spinach. Stupidly put the saucepan. Only had one of the hobs turned on, so the spinach is still cooking. Never mind. I'll eat the ham and then turn this into eggs Florentine. Right, we'll try that again in a way that will make the egg whites work. I'm actually going to put the bowl in which I make the hollandaise sauce into the saucepan in which I put the spinach. There's the water boiling again. I'll put a lid full of vinegar. Can't see whether you can see that. Just a lid full of that vinegar into the water in which I'm about to poach those eggs, or that egg. I'll only try it with one, I think. I dare not get 2 wrong again. Right, a lot of recipes suggest that you slide the egg in, while cracking the egg, you put it into a bowl and slide it into there. So I'll do that, but I can't show you. Make a sort of whirlpool in the very centre. Kind of like what Wizard of Oz would look like if Dorothy's house had got lost in a whirlpool. Now, into the centre of that should go. Probably will get stuck, but never mind. About 3 minutes, that should go in. You can see it's already turning white. At least I hope you can see it's almost turning white. 3 minutes. Okay. Let's get rid of that horrible, well, so there's that. Warmed up the ham there. Looks almost like bacon now. Wasn't supposed to warm quite as much as that. And here's the Florentine. Oh yes. Egg not quite as runny, but it's got white on it. Which is how an egg is supposed to look. Ham next. And spinach. So, that's eggs Benedict, eggs Florentine. And if you add salmon, as I said at the beginning, it's eggs royale. I suppose the moral of that story is to copy what I did if you want to get the sauce right, and the second part is what you have to do if you want to get the eggs right. Aha, at last. At last. Third time lucky. Whole teaspoon it is. In that goes. Some of it ran over the edges and looked a little like it might have been a little more than a teaspoon of white wine vinegar. But never mind. And then I'm going to put this inside it. In fact, I'm doing that now. I think that's what I'm supposed to do. So while that's simmering, and while that's being whisked, while it's warming up, or would be if I had the stove on, so while that's going on, I'll use one more egg, which is fine because I need a third egg for my dessert that I'm going to make tomorrow as well. Okay, dropped it on the floor. We'll need 4. I'm actually going to put the bowl in which I make the hollandaise sauce into the saucepan in which I put the spinach. Oh. And for a third time I think in this series, I've misted up the lens there. Might have been 5 eggs by now. Very well, here's the having a vocabulary problem today. Ta-ta!